Hey, God is good all the time. God is great. Hey, what's going on, chess lovers? This is Maurice Bishop Chess. See, y'all know my slogan: life is a game of chess. Hey guys, I got a beautiful game that I want to share with y'all. With me playing Maybach 77. I played a Black Lion. I know a lot of people say that the Black Lion is a bad opening, but I beg to differ. I think the Black Lion is definitely a great opening to play if you're a beginner. It's easy techniques to learn, and also, guys, if you play it right, you'll always be on top. All right. So without further ado, let's actually get started. All right, guys. So my opponent plays e4. I play e5. Knight f3, d6, bishop c4, and I go c6. Now, I go c6 because I want to anticipate the knight from going to knight c3 and then d5 and b5. I'm preventing the knight from going d5 and b5. All right. White castles kingside, and I go bishop e7. d4 is played, and then knight b to d7. Knight c3, queen c7. Queen c7 is overprotecting the e5 pawn. And also, guys, I may have an opportunity to go b5 and sometimes a5 as well. A4. This is one of the principle, guys. The first principle: if white goes A4, it is imperative that you go A5 automatically. Go A5 automatically, and the reason being is, guys, because a lot of times, if you do other moves like what I did here, like A6, sometimes white can just push the pawn on A5, and if you decide to go A6, then this knight on A4 would be pretty annoying, especially if he gets to the B6 square. So it could be very, very annoying. Sometimes even with that move, a4, sometimes they could go b4 as well. So even if you go a5, white may go b5 to really mess up your queen side. So this is not a position that you want to play into. Okay. All right. So in this case, I go a6, my opponent goes rook e1, and then I immediately go a5. Bishop e3, knight f6. A good thing about knight f6, guys, if this knight on c3 moves out the way, then this pawn on e4 would be captured. Also, there are times where knight can go g4, where he may need to get the dark square bishop, out of there. Okay. d5. Now, this is a move you do not want to play, guys, and I repeat, you do not want to play this move. If you go c captures d5, guys, this is not a move that you want to do. Even if bishop captures d5, and if knight captures, you have knight captures d5, and now this knight is going to be very annoying. And it's not like you could go knight b6 to try to trade this knight off due to the dark square bishop controlling that square as well. So this is a very, very annoying knight to be at. Very annoying knight, and it's going to be hard to get rid of him. All right. So, after the bishop e3, let's go back here. So a5. So a5 I played, and then white goes bishop b3. Knight f6, d5, and again, guys, do not take this pawn. So I go with my regular plan, guys. I go with my move g5. The a6 pawn. So another thing, when the a6 pawn is here, yes, it does prevent the knight and the bishop from going to g5, but also we want to go g7, g5 in the future. All right, so that's the whole point of h6. All right, so g5, h3, and then we go knight f8. All right, so the importance of knight f8, guys, especially when you have a position like this, we want to go pawn to g4. All right, that's the move that we want to go. All right, so d captures c6, and of course, guys, we got to take back. And again, guys, we pretty much prevent the knight from getting to the d5 square and the b5 square. And notice how white cannot just go b4, or he can't really do anything on the queen side because we have this pawn on a5, which really does wonders. All right. So queen e2, g4. All right. And the whole purpose of g4, guys, is if for some reason knight moves out the way, we can immediately take the h3 pawn. Also, guys, we do get this rook on h8 that could go to g8 with this g file. If white decides to go on g3, we do have this nice move with h5 and then h4 where we could open up the king side even more. All right. And then, of course, going rook g8 as well. All right. So, of course, in this position, my opponent actually takes. Once I went to g4, he actually takes on g4, and then I go bishop captures g4. Now, with bishop captures g4, now we want to go knight g6 and knight h4. Not only putting more pressure on the f3 knight, but of course, guys, we want to open up the g file. All right. Rook d1, I go knight g6, going with my plan. Queen d2, and of course, guys, like I told y'all before, the queen shouldn't really move out this way, or really shouldn't move out the way of this knight, because once we take and he takes back, now we have the open g file where we can actually start an attack on the white king even more. So it's going to make him lose even quicker. All right. So, but this is exactly what my opponent did. He goes queen d2, I go bishop captures f3, he takes, and then I go knight h4. Why knight h4? Because I am threatening knight captures f3, where I will forward the king and the queen. So white actually defends with bishop e2. So after bishop e2, I go queen d7. And I go queen d7 because I want to get to the h3 square, and then of course checkmate. King h2, and I go knight h4. What's the purpose of knight h4, knight h5? What's the purpose of knight h5? Because eventually, guys, we would like to go knight g6 and then go knight f4, where we can threat checkmate on h3, and then g2 checkmate. All right. I think I said checkmate twice, but I meant check and then checkmate on g2. All right, rook g1. He goes rook g1 to prevent the rook from getting to the square. You know, he wants to control the file. So this is another principle. If you cannot get a file on the king side, then get a file on the queen side. All right, which is why I go rook b8. Always find a file. If you can't find another file, if you can't find that file, find another file. If you can't find a diagonal, find another diagonal where your pieces could be very, really active. All right. So rook b8, he does a logical move by going by going pawn b3, and then I decided to go knight g6. All right. So the whole purpose of knight g6 is to go knight f4, and again go queen h3 checkmate. My opponent sees this, which is why he goes rook g2. All right. So I go knight g f4, where I'm threatening queen h3, check, and then queen captures g2 would be checkmate. So my opponent goes bishop captures f4, I go knight captures f4 with the same threat of queen h3 check, and then queen g2 checkmate. So he defends by going rook g3 to prevent me from going queen h3. I go bishop h4, where again, guys, my threat is still the same, where I'm still threatening to go bishop captures g3 with a check, queen h3 check, and then g2 checkmate. So he goes rook g4 to prevent me from getting to the square. But however, he sees how strong this knight on f4 really is. All right. So because of this, I decided to go bishop captures f2. Again, guys, with bishop captures f2, you know, obviously I'm defending by capturing the pawn on f2, but also I'm threatening h5, where my threat can still be the same either way. So it's like every move that I'm doing, it has a purpose, it has a reason. I'm still keeping the pressure on. So because of this, he pretty much forced himself to take the knight off so that I wouldn't have that queen h3 check with the knight here. So that's why he goes rook captures f4, because that knight on f4 is very strong. So e captures f4, queen captures f4, and now I go rook g8, where I'm threatening bishop g3 check and winning the queen. He goes rook captures d6, and I believe he went rook captures d6 because I guess he figured we're just gonna have to go queen for queen. In other words, if he comes here and I take, he could just take. But the problem with this, I'll still be up a rook. And, you know, I'm pretty much up material, and, you know, this is still a one game for me. All right. But however, guys, there was a better move that I found. I go bishop g1 check. And then, of course, as you can see here, the king cannot go to h3 square because the queen is guarding the square. The king can't go g2 because the rook is guarding this whole file. So the only move that he really has is king h1. So after king h1, I go queen h3 check, and then of course my opponent resigned in this position because the only move that he can make is queen h2, and then queen captures h2 checkmate. So I hope y'all actually enjoyed this video, guys, of the Black Lion. If you're trying to learn this opening, you can actually learn it from Maurice Bishop Chess University. That link is in my description box. Also, if you just want to pay just a one-time payment of just one of my Black Lion course, that's also in the description box as well, so y'all can check it out. So again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, and if you're seeing this video for the first time, make sure you like, share, comment. Let me know what you think, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, guys, peace.